Can you think of one good thing to say about me?
I'm at a loss for words.
Clive, the role of Jack is a departure from a lot of the more intense dramatic roles you've played in the past. What made you attracted you to the character of Jack?
I mean, it was a really, really well-written script, and it was a film I was attached to for many years, actually. It took Fred a while to put the whole thing together, but when I read it, and I knew Fred a little bit, and he said he'd got this script, and I read it, and I was always very, very taken with it. I thought that it was really well-written, the dialogue was really good, the relationship was great, and I loved the fact that it was, you know, it was very witty and buoyant and sort of bubbly, but it was poignant and moving as well, and didn't feel fake, and so, you know, that's why I wanted to do it.
At the beginning of the film, and through much of it, Jack has a lot on his plate. Can you talk about some of the challenges he's dealing with, both personally and professionally?
Well, he's a struggling alcoholic, really, is the truth of the matter, and but he's also very jaded at work as well. He was somebody that came with bags of energy and was a real inspiration to kids, and suddenly, you know, over time, he's got stale, you know, and he's struggling with personal problems as well, and everything feels a little flat, and it's really the arrival of Juliette's character into the school and what she does that kind of wakes him up and stirs him up and reminds him, really.
Now, obviously you were familiar with her work, but you hadn't worked with her before. Were you excited when she agreed to do the film?
I'm such a fan. I mean, you know, I go back to films like Bearable Lightness of Being, and when she did the Kieslowski film, Blue, and I'd always held her in the highest regard. I think she's one of the greatest, so, you know, it was, I was really thrilled when she said she'd do it, and then we had a fantastic time together doing it, you know. I think the very first scene we ever did on camera, we made each other laugh and thought this could be good, you know.
I say a 5-syllable word that starts with A, you say a 5-syllable word that starts with B, and we go on until someone is stumped. Antihistamine.
Blah, 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 blah.
Only 4 syllables. My point.
Do you think that Hollywood is realizing that there's, and independent films, but across the board, that there's an audience for mature romances and that not everything has to be superheroes, popcorn films?
I think so, yeah. I think for sure there is, you know, there definitely is a, you know, a thing there. It's just, the difficult thing is that, you know, a film like this compared to one of those huge tentpole superhero films is, you know, is just getting it out there, really, and getting people aware of it and knowing about it and, you know, finding a place within, because those budgets for those movies are so enormous and their marketing budgets are so enormous that everything gets completely swamped. And so it's really just finding a way through that, really, in whatever way that is. You need to just, you know, make people aware that those films are out there, and then I think there is a market for them.
But even smaller films might tend to focus on less mature or younger characters. Do you think for people who, like Jack and Juliette, have been through failed relationships or had whatever, grown children, that will ring true with more mature audiences?
Of course. I mean, you know, I don't know the actual statistics about, you know, what age groups go to cinemas and what, you know, and how all that things, but people watch movies, you know, as they get older, right? People don't stop watching movies when they hit their 30s, you know. It's like, so of course there's, you know, there's a market, and a, you know, films like this are relevant to older people for sure.
I think Fred says in the production notes that Jack and Dina ultimately sort of revitalize each other. Would you agree with that? And how would you say they do
No,
that?
for sure. She certainly wakes him up. I mean, you know, he initially takes, you know, the thing of her saying that, you know, pictures are so much more important than words, and he takes it as a personal slur and it reawakens the passion for language that he's always had, and, you know, it galvanizes him and inspires him and makes him a better teacher, you know, wakes him up, you know. And I think he does the same to her. He provokes and prods, and of course all the time they're kind of falling in love with each other, but they're sort of, you know, they galvanize each other for sure. I am going to walk over there where the light is falling on you, and I am going to kiss you, unless you speak a loud, resounding no.